the Tristan Law Show. If it's your first time here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. I'm Tristan Law, semi-retired pro wrestler, and today, I'm your host. Well, we are on the road to WrestleMania, and I think that this is the most exciting time of the year for us pro wrestling fans, because if you watch Monday Night Raw, you know exactly what we're talking about today. Actually, you know what? If you looked at the thumbnail, if you looked at the description for the episode, if you looked at the title, you know exactly what this episode is about today. This is about Roman Reigns and CM Punk. To finish Raw, Roman Reigns came out on Raw with a choice to make because he won the Royal Rumble. And we all thought that we knew where it was going. Where Roman Reigns would go is that he would go, oh, well, you know, I'm just going to go on SmackDown and I'm going to let you know. But then what happened, right? CM Punk stepped in and didn't let him make his decision or have the moment by himself quietly. Because the moment CM Punk interrupted Roman, this stopped being a decision. And this whole entire thing turned into one big fat confrontation. What follows is what followed. It wasn't just a promo. It was a power struggle where Roman goes from holding all the leverage to choosing the fight that he didn't plan on having. And if you hang with me here today, you'll hear the exact moment that the shift happens. The line that Roman Reigns can't walk back. So we're breaking this down moment by moment because by the end of it, Roman isn't choosing a brand. He's choosing a fight. We're going to be trying something a little bit different today. You're going to hear the audio, and you're going to be seeing something on the screen. So one of the things that I always tell people when you're doing YouTube or you're doing business or you're just doing like a project, just try something. So I tested it, and it should work. We should have no problems. But let's go ahead and we're going to play that first clip of Roman Reigns and CM Punk in the ring, and we are going to break it down together. Let's get that clip ready, and here we go.
Finn Balor, I heard what you said. You don't think you're a bad guy? Well, I know when I'm pushed, I am the baddest guy, and you're going to find out very soon when I get my hands on you.
All right, look. Out of all the times of Raw, you had the whole entire 2 hours and change, almost 3 hours of Raw. And what CM Punk decided that he was going to do was that he was going to go out there at that moment and decide that he was going to tell Finn Balor that he's the baddest guy, right? And that he promises consequences. Like CM Punk, are you dumb? Are you dumb? If you just wanted to come out and fight Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, or you wanted Roman Reigns to choose you, why did you just say that? Why did you just say that? The reason why this whole entire thing matters, and I'm going to get to the chat because we're having this conversation together. The reason why this matters is because this establishes CM Punk's edge before Roman Reigns even engages. You see, Roman Reigns is standing in the background looking at this guy like he's an idiot. He's already in threat mode, but not debate mode. Let's see what the chat says. Heel Vegas says that Punk choosing to respond to Finn was one step to goading Roman. The tribal chief doesn't tolerate disrespect.
Yeah!
So you're trying to say, Heel Vega, that maybe that was CM Punk's intention the entire time? Maybe it was his intention to not make Roman Reigns have to go to SmackDown and try to figure out if he wanted Drew McIntyre? So that he would just say, hey, look, you know what? You are what I want. You are who I want. Let's just get this done. You're saying, Heel Vega, that Roman Reigns was baited by CM Punk. I like that.
Thank you.
Fernando also says in the chat, I'm so happy that we are getting Roman versus Punk. I can't tell you how much I didn't want Roman versus Cody 3.
Yeah.
Heel Vegas says that Roman would have 100% went after Drew or Cody had Punk not interrupted. Punk choosing that moment to respond to Finn Balor set Roman off. He's going to prove to Punk that he made himself. Yeah. Heel Vega also continues to say that CM Punk wanted Roman to choose him. Hence the Drew clowning session. Okay. All right. Okay. So we are cooking with gasoline so far. let's go ahead and take a look at listen to the next moment, and we're continuing to break this down moment by moment. The entire CM Punk and Roman Reigns interview. Let me tell you, either one or two things will happen this episode. YouTube will flag this and say, "Oh my God, it's a copyright claim," but it's not. It's not, because it's used under fair use, and the way that I'm using it's performative. It's different than what the WWE used it for. Or, you know what, we can just have a great episode and we can laugh about this, and this will be something that we do again. Let's go to that next clip.
You must have rung your bell or something. You coming out here interrupting my segment talking to Finn Balor?
What? Did you say I interrupted you?
I mean, yeah, you did interrupt him. Like, what? Why'd you walk out there? You had no business CM Punk walk out of there. And, you know, and I think that this whole part here proves the point that Heel Vega is saying, that the Tribal Chief was disrespected. He didn't like the disrespect, right? Roman Reigns tries to assert segment ownership. He's like, no, this is my turn. This is my turn. And what happens is that he immediately fails, right? What happens is that CM Punk is using this to bridge the platform claim that we're going to see in a little bit. Zach Morgan says, how much time we spent together on fair use. I'm so proud.
Thank you.
I'm glad I'm making you proud. Glad I'm making you proud. Me and Zach went to our broadcasting school together. Let's see. Universal said hello. What's up, Universal? Heel Vega says that the promo was fantastic. It feels personal for Roman, and he made Punk look like the villain in his story. Using Punk's comments on Colt Cabana's podcast touches on their story. Bam. A story. The thing that I always say about heels and villains, right, is that depending on who tells the story determines who's the person that is the villain, right? Because if you are watching, okay, so fine, Batman. Batman's the classic one that I use. Or, you know what, let's use The Lion King, because this is pro wrestling related, and if you know me or you ever been taught pro wrestling by me, psychology, pro wrestling storytelling, I always use The Lion King. Everybody knows the story of The Lion King. You know that Mufasa is the babyface, right? He's the good guy. So anybody underneath him would be the good guy. Simba would be the good guy. Simba's mom would be the good guy. The bird would be the good guy. All of them would be the good guy. But what if there's a part of the story that they're not telling us because we're getting the story from the perspective of Mufasa? What if the story that we are getting, right, that we are missing, could be from Scar? Was that Scar was kicked out and mistreated by his brother, and now he's been sent to go into the wastelands to go hang out with hyenas and eat scraps. So Roman Reigns is trying to set up CM Punk as the heel, as the bad guy, as the villain, but CM Punk is doing the same exact thing as well. Because, right, the issue is with these two people is that they're both going to get cheered. We love Roman Reigns, but we also love CM Punk as well too. But you know what? I think that we love them both equally. So what happens now in that promo is that WWE has to get everybody to split and get everybody to choose sides. And I think that Monday night was a side choosing moment. And we'll get more definitive side choosing moments. In that, I'm telling you this, WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas, there's going to be two crowds, one for Punk and one for Roman. Let's give the chat a little bit of love. Let's see. Universe says, "What's up?" Heel Vegas says, "What's up, Road Dog?" Universal says, "Not Brian. I'm much better looking."
Thank you.
There's a little fun banter inside the chat. That's the best part. All right, let's go to the next segment of the promo between CM Punk and Roman Reigns. We're breaking down moment by moment.
I interrupted you. That's funny considering you're a visitor here on my show. I don't know, maybe you thought you were on SmackDown or something, but this is Monday Night Raw. This is Netflix. I'm the champ, CM Punk, and I call the shots.
So now we're getting back to doing the brand split. Remember, for those of you paying attention at home, we haven't had a solid brand split in maybe 2 years, going on 2, maybe going on 3. So now we're sitting here saying, oh, well, you know, I am the champion of Netflix and Drew McIntyre's the champion of USA. Now, for our friends that are watching anywhere other than the United States, you already know that it doesn't matter because you're watching on Netflix either way. But here in America, we consistently get the short end of the stick when it comes to media rights because everybody thinks that we're rich. We are not rich. Bing bong. But it's all struggling people. And CM Punk is trying to put his flag in the sand, right? By saying that this is Raw. He's Netflix. He's the Raw Netflix champs. Why this moment matters. This is Punk trying to seize control of the reality, right? Roman goes from, the tribal chief, the man, the person that puts food on the table. He goes from, I don't know, the final boss to, hey, you don't even go here. We let you come here. That's what that moment turns into. Universe Heel Vega says, one thing for sure, even villains have a villain they're trying to usurp in their own story. Mufasa was the villain in Scar's story, despite no wrongdoing. Or alleged wrongdoing. Remember, we only saw half the story, right? Sometimes when you look at the story, when I look at a story, the thing that I always say to myself, who is the person that is telling the story? Who is the person that is telling the story, right? Because remember, whenever there's any kind of disagreement in life, there is your side, there's the other side, and there's the bona fide truth of what happens, right? They always say that the victors are the ones that get to tell the story, right? So what if watching The Lion King, that was a story that was told by Simba? That was Simba's story, the way that he remembered it, right? So in this story that we're talking about, Roman Reigns versus CM Punk, who's the villain? Who's the heel here? Who are you going to choose? Speaking about that, I got a poll going on. Darn it. I have a survey going on. And in the survey, I'm asking you guys one simple question. Who actually won the confrontation? You don't have to vote now. If you feel like, you want to wait until the end to decide, maybe you are undecided on who won or who lost, because we're going to break down every single moment from start to finish of this promo. If you want to wait till the end, stick around and wait until the end. But if not, if you're not watching live, go ahead and type it in the comments whenever you decide who you think won this whole entire thing. All right, let's go on to the next video in that promo. Let's see what we got.
You have a big decision to make. Did I hear you ask the fans of Philly for some help? Who was it, Drew McIntyre? I could listen to him get booed all day. What about it? WrestleMania, Las Vegas, Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. Or what's the other side of the coin? Roman Reigns versus the best in the world, CM Punk.
So what CM Punk does there in that moment is that he introduces the choice, right? What he does is that CM Punk brings up Drew McIntyre and WrestleMania possibilities. Brother, ain't nobody was talking about that. Nobody was talking about that. CM Punk. This makes me feel like Heel Vega is right. That maybe what's happening here is that CM Punk wanted to get chosen, right? CM Punk wanted to be the Pokemon in the Pokeball. That's what I'm thinking here. Because why would you come out and put yourself in front of the gun, right? Why this matters, though, piggybacking off of what Heel Vega said. Heel Vega said, and I agree with him right now, right? I didn't think about that until Heel Vega said it, but maybe CM Punk wanted to be chosen. And what he did was he came out there and he made the choice of illusion. He made the illusion of choice. Hey, you know what? I'm going to give you choice A or choice B. Roman, I'm going to give you either me, CM Punk, or you can go to SmackDown and go choose Drew McIntyre. But you know what? I don't want you to choose Drew McIntyre. I really want you to choose this one. Stu says, I voted Roman because we don't get to hear Roman that much anymore. Kinda Punk goes through the same lines every week. Even if he does it good, we know what we're going to get from Punk. What's up, Stu? Heel Vega says, I don't mind exposing myself as the one who voted for Punk. Universal says that CM Punk clearly won because CM Punk was smiling at the end and Roman was almost crying. So Universal, maybe what was happening was that the reason why CM Punk was smiling was because he mission accomplished. Mission accomplished. Stu says that we don't always know what Roman will say, and we also don't know what he'll think either. He's very unpredictable. I think that's one of the coolest parts. Zach Morgan says, I voted for Roman because it was nice to hear him break out of the mold. Good delivery. Zach, bro, I'm happy that you are here. We went to the wedding together back in August, and I know that you follow. I'm not sure how much you follow, but I'm glad that you're here and you're participating. You know, welcome to the crew. Heel Vega's a regular, so is Stu, so is Universal. We got lots of regulars that come here. So make sure you show yourself a lot on the page. There's a lot of cool people that hang out here. Let's see. Let's go to... Universal says that everything CM Punk said was 100% true. Most of what Roman said was not true. Stu says, and when Roman talks, he makes every word matter. Yes, you have to listen to the words, right? There's times when the words are punched to where there's certain words that there's emphasis on it. And as we go through the whole entire promo, because we still got so much more to go, as we go through the whole entire promo, you'll get to hear how Roman does emphasize some words. Very good call out. Very good call out, Stu. Heel Vega says that it's personal for Roman. He brought up the podcast. You got to make Roman look really, really strong. Stu says both spoke truth. Universal says, nope, Roman did not actually. Zach Morgan says, way too long. I'll call you later today.
Yeah!
All right, let's go into the next clip of the Roman Reigns and CM Punk promo in the ring. And because we're breaking it down moment by moment, let's go take a look at what happened next.
I don't know, Roman, what do you think? Do you need their help? Drew McIntyre. CM Punk. Drew McIntyre. CM Punk.
So what CM Punk was doing there was that he was weaponizing the crowd, right? Right? He was utilizing the crowd to help goad, to help provoke Roman Reigns into choosing him, right? One of the things that I'm always afraid of, right? Roman Reigns used to call Roman Reigns the big dog, right? Because he was the dog that owned the yard after the Undertaker was there. And the thing that I always say is that you can't poke the dog. You're right. You can't hit the dog and don't expect to get bit. Maybe this is so confusing because what's going to happen at WrestleMania? Will CM Punk get bit? Or will he be the one that spanks the dog? Don't spank your dog, kids.
Thank you.
But CM Punk proves in that one moment that he can conduct, that he can control the audience in real time. He has the crowd in his hand. And it's one of the things about being an entertainer is about controlling the crowd, right? I never forget one of my first times wrestling when I kind of sort of got it when I was brand new. And I did that false kick out at like, I don't know, like 3 and 2 99999 of a second. And the crowd went, Ooh, I'm gonna look into my opponent. My opponent might have been Steve Off, who was actually on the channel yesterday for Main Event Conversations. Make sure you check that out. And it was, for me, it was like, I said to my opponent, yo, bro, we got him. We got him. Being able to control the crowd and to manipulate the crowd the way that you want, that's a skill in itself. To be singing at a concert as the entertainer, and you pass over the mic and everybody just starts singing the song, that's crowd control right there. Heel Vega says that Punk saying that he told Roman, Punk saying he was told to make Roman look strong made Roman's job and life so much harder. Punk used that as ammunition to blame Roman for not being able to get over. It's a really good story.
Thank you.
Let's head on over to the next moment in that promo.
Yeah, I think everybody's in agreement. The choice is pretty clear, but I am pretty sure that your mind is already made up. I know who you're picking, so go ahead. Take the easy way out. Pick Drew McIntyre.
Pick the easy way out. Like that was Punk pretty much saying, hey, pick me, right? Because what CM Punk was doing right there was that he was framing Drew as the crowd's choice. He was framing Drew as the one that every single person wanted, right? And let me tell you why this matters. Because it locks Roman Reigns into a legacy trap, right? It says, well, I can follow what the crowd says, but let me not do what the crowd says. Let me do what I want to do. So this is where you look at false binaries in pro wrestling, right? Like false, false like rules in binary. Oh, you just have to choose what the crowd picks because Roman Reigns is the babyface. It's all about making the fans happy. They worked hard at their job. They paid their money to sit there. They're probably wearing the Roman Reigns t-shirt. They want it easy. But you know what? But you got some of those Punk fans out there that says, you know what? Maybe you don't want Roman Reigns, CM Punk. Maybe you should go for somebody else. Maybe see who you can get out of the Elimination Chamber. The thing for me is that if I had won the Royal Rumble, I would wait. I would wait until after Elimination Chamber and to make my decision to leave the. You know what? I would probably just wait until the night of WrestleMania, just to keep everybody guessing. But then how would you build the main event that way? Let's go to the next video. Let's go to the next moment in the Roman Reigns versus CM Punk promo that we're breaking down minute by minute. This happened on Monday Night Raw. If you missed it, don't worry. We're catching up today.
Hold up now. I don't like the guy, but you're talking crazy. Drew McIntyre is the easy way out. Hey, Phil, I don't know if you realize this, but Drew's like 4 times bigger than you. And I'm pretty sure last time y'all fought, he had you crying over a little plastic bracelet. Actually, I think it was that bracelet, yeah.
He called him Phil. Roman Reigns called CM Punk Phil. Let me tell you why that matters so much. To you guys that are just wrestling fans that have never stepped in the ring, to you, he was like, oh, he called him Phil. He called him by his real name. The thing is that when you're in pro wrestling, you always call the person by their name because that's just one of the etiquettes, right? He's known as CM Punk. He might be Phil backstage, but in front of the audience, he's CM Punk. So you're just gonna call the guy Phil? No, he's not Phil to you. Okay, my first time going to pro wrestling school, and I was talking to Bubba Ray Dudley on the phone. In case you didn't know, Bubba Ray Dudley was one of my trainers. Him, Devon, those were the people that got me, that broke me into the business. And I remember talking to Bubba on the phone, and I go, hi, Mark. He goes, Bubba, look, we're not friends like that I can call him Mark. I never met the guy a day in his life, never hung out with him. I don't know him as Mark. I know him as Bubba. Bubba is his name. That is the only name that I'm going to call him. That's the only name that he wants to be called. There are people that I wrestle with, that I pal around with, that I only know them by their wrestling name. I don't know what other names that they might use. I don't know what their real name is. I don't know what their government is. I don't. I don't understand why. I understand why. It's to make it feel really personal. And those are the small things that everybody picks up. But yeah, definitely 100%. Roman leans on the physical and dominant and past embarrassment. Like, okay, was it really just the bracelet that CM Punk was arguing over? I don't know. I think it was. It might have been a little bit more for him, right? Because it was for his wife.
I don't like the guy.
Let's see if I can get the bracelet.
You're talking crazy. Drew McIntyre.
Let's see if I can get the bracelet. And we're going to pause at the bracelet.
What's that bracelet?
So that bracelet there was, I think it has his wife's name and it has his dog's name on it. What makes it, Larry, his late dog Larry, what makes this bracelet moment so much more is that Larry just passed away. So it's not just the bracelet to CM Punk. No. It's not just the bracelet to Phil. Okay? That's his reason why on his wrist. Not the watch, but the bracelet. So now you're going to downplay the bracelet by saying that, oh, it's just a plastic bracelet? Nah, bruh. That's not what it is. That's not what it is. Zach Morgan says he is Pepsi Phil forever. Stu says rest up Larry. That's right, rest in peace, Larry. Universal says it was written that way to make it personal. Universal, I know it was written that way. We're just breaking it down moment by moment and going through it and talking about the moments of why they matter. But anybody, if it's your first time here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We are trending to 1,000 subscribers here on the Tristan Law Show. And once we get to 1,000, I'm rebranding the whole channel. It's officially going to be the 830 Wrestling Network. That's officially what it's going to be, because you know what? By the time we hit 1,000, we would have long grown. So here's what I want you guys to do. Don't make this channel a little dirty secret. Share it with somebody, because there's somebody that is in the world that you know on your social media, maybe that works with you, that is looking for a place to where they can have honest conversations about pro wrestling. And guess what? This is that place. Hit that subscribe button. We're working to get into 1,000 subscribers. We are already at 830 Wrestling Network, in case you couldn't tell, right? But the channel's going to be fully branded to the 830 Wrestling Network the second that we hit 1,000 subscribers. I'm only, 140 subscribers away?
Thank you.
Thank you to all you day ones. Thank you to all of you day ones. Let's go ahead and continue to break this whole entire thing down. What video are we up to? Is it this one?
Careful, because when I was done with Drew, they ran out of staples putting his dumb ass back together. I know you've beaten him in the past, but I've beat him in the most dangerous match this company has to offer. Hell in a Cell. I put him in the dirt.
Take a number. I beat Drew for like 3 years straight.
Yeah, you beat Drew. You and how many of your cousins?
Well, CM Punk was trying to frame himself as danger, not nostalgia. What's up, Maria? This is where CM Punk is trying to prove the point, or prove his point. Because I'm not saying that I agree with his point or not, right? But he says that Drew McIntyre is the safe option, right? Punk is the one that's unpredictable to where he doesn't know what's going to happen. Honestly, if I was Roman Reigns, I would pick CM Punk. I wouldn't pick Drew McIntyre. Because Drew McIntyre crazy right now. Drew McIntyre is doing everything underneath God's sun in order to hold on to that championship that he's been bamboozled, flim-flam, and okey-doked out of. I've had episodes to where I've talked about CM Punk. I'm sorry. I've had episodes to where I've talked about Drew McIntyre to why I agree why he's angry. Drew McIntyre was that guy that was the pandemic champion that won at WrestleMania, and there was not a single person there to cheer for him. And then, and then when he finally got the opportunity to win the championship again, what happened? CM Punk took that from him. CM Punk took that from him. Maria says they sounded like insecure men. Drew is not who they have to face at Mania. Right. But so just to catch you up, Maria, Heel Vega said earlier that maybe, just maybe what was happening was that CM Punk was trying to rope, he was trying to hook Roman Reigns into choosing him. Maybe that's what he wanted. Maybe it would be better for CM Punk's mental health if he knew who he was going to get at WrestleMania so he could train accordingly and wouldn't have to wait until the last minute. Yeah. Universal says that he was schooled, plain and simple. Maria says that Roman smoked CM Punk. Universal goes, nope, it was the other way around, actually. Universal says too many lies told by Roman. Heel Vega says, we can agree to disagree, Universal, but Punk owned the segment. But Roman didn't do too bad. Eon's better than his promo before his match with Cena. Universal says, exaggerations. Maria says they sounded like two insecure men. We read that already. Maria also says that Drew is the best heel in the WWE.
Yeah!
Universal says that Punk owned the segment, and Punk smiling and laughing at the end of the segment proves he's schooled and outclassed him. Universal, my comment to that, I don't know if you caught that comment that I made to the smile. Maybe the reason why CM Punk was smiling in the end was because he wanted to rope in. He wanted to rope in Roman Reigns, and he smiled because mission accomplished. Maybe that's what it was. Universal says that Roman standing at the top of the ramp almost crying was hilarious.
Yeah!
Fernando says, what's up, Universal? What's up, Fernando? Today we are breaking down moment by moment CM Punk and Roman Reigns in the ring. We're going through all of the clips moment by moment. One of two things that would happen is that YouTube's going to take this video down because WWE is going to challenge it. But, you know, underneath fair use, I mean, this is 100% fair use. And I'm going to challenge it. I've challenged WWE once, right? WWE took a copyright claim on a video once, and I challenged them once, and I won because I was right. It was fair use. So we're going to keep going, and we're going to see what's happened. Universal right now is saying that that it's Gunther, right? I'm sorry, Heel Vega says Gunther's the best heel. Drew's the funniest heel. I respect your opinion, though, Maria. I think that in two separate ecosystems, one being Raw and one being SmackDown, with the lines very gray and you can't tell who is who, I think respectively, Drew is a great heel on SmackDown. And Gunther's a great heel on Raw. But I don't think that both of them could exist in the same exact ecosystem because they'd both be chasing after the same thing, for the same thing. But right now, Gunther ain't really chasing for nothing but people's careers. And it's sad because, in case you guys don't know, Biggie is retired officially. And according to him, I granted semi-retired pro wrestler Tristan Law, nice to meet you. I don't really believe much of what I see on TV. So, like, he's not retired to me until he never comes back. But with Biggie being retired, that's one less career that Gunther can't take. Like, maybe he should have came back for 5 seconds and just given Gunther the career. I don't know, just talking junk. Let's go on over to the next segment and see what we got.
I'd watch how you talk about my family.
He said, I watch how you talk about my family. CM Punk undercuts Roman's dominance by just talking about his family. Why this matters? Let me tell you why this matters. In the whole entire promo, right? The whole entire moment between CM Punk and Roman Reigns, this is the first real emotional trigger for Roman Reigns. You don't ever really see Roman Reigns get emotional. That's it. There's not much to say about this one here. Going to the chat, Fernando says he 100% agree with Maria. Drew is a top heel. Yeah. Universal says I can't share the other main event, Cody versus Jacob versus Drew for the title. If it's Cody versus Jacob versus Drew for the title, I only want one person to win. Look, I'm telling you, if Cody Rhodes wins at WrestleMania, I don't know how that's going to be fared. I think that Jacob Fatu should win. You know what? I'm going to save that because you already know that we are going to do a full WrestleMania, prediction and preview. That is what we do here. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you turn on the bell notification. No, they tell me to tell y'all that. But we're working on getting it to 1,000. And by WrestleMania season, well, we're in the WrestleMania season, but closer to WrestleMania, I'll give you my picks. Coming up for WrestleMania season as well, too, we're going to be talking about the Hall of Fame, about who deserves to go in. This year, I always have one pick. One person that I wave that flag every year, so make sure you keep that locked here. Keep it locked. Fernandez says, farewell, Biggie and Madison Rain. Universal says that, Ray, you're next. Universal says, by the way, did you guys see the ratings? Dynamite beat NXT. I don't know. I didn't even see it. I've been trying to watch AEW, and I'm not going to lie. I've been a bad wrestling fan. I haven't been watching. All right, let's go to the next segment, the next moment in that promo between Roman Reigns and CM Punk. We're breaking down minute by minute. Let's see what we got for this one.
Remember this, we're the only reason this place is where it's at. We're the only reason that you had a show and a company to come back to. Don't ever forget that.
So is that true? Do you guys think it's true? Do you guys think that the reason why CM Punk even had a WWE to come back to was because of Roman Reigns and his family, because of the bloodline? You know, I want to know what you guys think, okay? Let me know what you think. Do you think that Roman Reigns is pretty much saying that if it wasn't for the bloodline, WWE wouldn't be making money to even be able to pay Punk? WWE wouldn't be making money or being so hot that CM Punk wouldn't even want to jump ship and come back to the WWE. That's what he's saying. Zach says he's been enjoying AEW. Fernandez says AEW is fire. Universal says that he disagrees with what Roman Reigns is saying. I want to go check out an AEW show this year. That is my goal. My goal is if I can't find a decent ticket, I'm going to still try to go to a WWE event, but I'm not spending an arm and a leg to go. I am going to go to an AEW event, and I'm going to sit right here and let you know exactly how it was. But Universal saying that CM Punk, that Roman Reigns was in full exaggeration mode. And thinking about that, I always say this. WWE is the barometer. They are the North Star for pro wrestling. And if they do good, everybody else does good. And the bloodline, you have to admit, despite however you may feel, the bloodline was the top story. Everybody's out there with their ones. The bloodline created so many things that so many people were able to eat. It started with Roman and Paul Heyman. Remember that episode of SmackDown to where Paul Heyman is there, and Roman Reigns is revealed sitting on the couch. Only in 2019, 2018 was that same exact person, Roman Reigns, chained up to a to the post of the ring and eating dog food. And now he's going to be positioned as the man. Out of that came the Yeet with Jey Uso. Jey Uso became the man, right? What happened was that Jimmy Uso now is trying to get the rub from his brother, right? I think that we now have the MFTs, and I don't even know what the MFTs is doing right now, but all that ties back to the bloodline, to the original bloodline. They had the Bloodline 2.0, which spun off Jacob Fatu, who's getting ready most likely to be in that main event at WrestleMania. Now, the thing that impresses me so much to why I got to give somebody like Jacob Fatu a hand clap, because I remember maybe 2.5 years ago, going to Bushwick, Brooklyn, and watching Jacob Fatu wrestle in the ring on an indie show. And now maybe 2.5 years later, he's getting ready to be in one of the biggest, I don't know, the biggest sporting events of 2025. Yeah, I know the Super Bowl is coming, but we don't talk about fake sports here on the Tristan Law Show on the 830 Wrestling Network. We talk about real sports like wrestling.
Yeah!
So looking at that, right? Roman stops playing. It's not a game, right? We're talking about the moment that we just listened to where Roman draws the line in his family, right? He's not playing with his family. It's personal now, right? It's personal. So where I grew up, everything is fair game except for family. We don't joke with family. We don't joke with mothers. If you talk about my mother, you better be ready to fight. But you know what? That's not me. I'm not going to fight you, as my mom knows the story. One time I got into a fight in elementary school because somebody called my mother fat. And I got into a fight. My mother goes, "Why'd you get into a fight today?" It was just a normal thing for me. "Why'd you get into a fight today?" I said, "Because somebody called you fat." My mother says, "What does their mother look like?" I said, "She's fat too." My mother said,
Yeah!
Ever since then, I don't fight over my mother. You know what? My mother's a nice person. My mother would just say, "All right, have a nice day," and just keep it pushing. That's not my mother. But you know what? For some people, families are really personal. Where I come from, if you talk about somebody's family, you better be able to use right and left and let them do some work, because somebody wants to put a hurting on you. Let's continue to break down Roman Reigns and CM Punk standing in the ring at Monday Night Raw just this past week.
You really believe that, huh? Philadelphia, do you believe that? See, you think you're the reason we're in the spot we're in, and you know what? You're sort of right, because you manipulated your cousins and your family and a great number of people thinking you're this great messiah, that you carried this place on your back and you held it up to the sky, but all you really did was hold it hostage.
I think CM Punk was right. I think CM Punk is right. You know, because Roman Reigns is trying to claim the ownership of the WWE. We're the only reason why this place exists, right? And I think that what Roman Reigns did in that whole entire moment was say the quiet part out loud. You know, like I think the crux, the main idea is that these two men are out there in a measuring contest. You know, in a Richard measuring contest. And just like Cody Rhodes said last night that, you know, if he's Raheem. Well, you know what, Raheem? I'm Tristan and I can measure too.
Yeah!
Let's see what we got. All right. Fernando said, Zach says, free Jeff Cobb. Fernando says, did you hear what Jey Uso had to say about fans on an interview? He's cracking. I saw you talking about the what do you want to talk about with Cody Rhodes? I saw that. Stu says Fern and Universal sound crazy. Please stop. Everything Roman did from 2020 and on had nothing to do with Punk. Punk and the Shield were aligned for like 3 months. What are we talking about? Ooh-wee. Remember, guys, we are allowed to debate in the chat, but we always keep it respectful. That's the most important part. Keep it respectful here. Keep it respectful. I know nobody disrespect you, but I felt like we were getting ready to go there, and I was being a referee. Universal says had to say wrong. Punk left when? Stu says 2014. Universal says exactly. Stu says the Shield and Punk were aligned from Survivor Series 2012 to barely Mania 2013. Universal says, keep digging that hole. Stu says, yo, I don't think you're reading what I'm saying, dude. How does 3 months of a 14 career make someone? Sorry, Uni. I got to agree with Stu on that part. How are we going to single out 3 years of somebody of a 14-year career and say that they actually made it? They're actually the best because of those 3 months, all right? And those 3 months were so long ago. One of the things that we say in wrestling, you're only as good as your last show. You're only as good as your last show. Let me get that clip back in there again.
You really believe that, huh?
Because I forgot it.
Philadelphia, do you believe that? See, you think you're the reason we're in the spot we're in, and you know what? You're sort of right, because you manipulated your cousins and your family and a great number of people thinking you're this great messiah, that you carried this place on your back and you held it up to the sky, but all you really did was hold it hostage.
Roman Reigns was out there mistreating people. He was. Roman Reigns was out there mistreating people when he was the leader of the bloodline, right? He had them do all the dirty work, which is why I like Roman as a leader of the bloodline other than Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa is finally getting it, but I feel like Solo Sikoa gets his hands dirty way too much. People complain that Roman Reigns didn't wrestle that much during the bloodline storyline, and I don't think that Roman Reigns needed to wrestle all the time. It made it special when Roman wrestled because he had everybody else doing his dirty work for him. Roman Reigns only showed up when it mattered. He was not going to show up for the preliminary. He was showing up for the big show. That's what Roman Reigns was showing up for. But I think that Roman Reigns definitely did a lot of manipulation, and I think that the reason why Roman Reigns is where he is now is because he got manipulated. He got flim-flam, okey-doke, and scammed, and now he is where he is, and he hasn't been a champion for a couple of years now.
This isn't ESPN. I heard what you said. I heard you go on McAfee's show and talk about how, and you really do believe this, your quarterly vacations are somehow now you graciously stepping out and sharing the spotlight with somebody, and then you have the audacity to say that nobody stepped up? Nobody's filled your shoes? Nobody's trying to follow in your footsteps.
I think that entire moment right there was probably it was one of the good moments of the promo because it breaks the bubble. It breaks the fourth wall without really breaking kayfabe. That's it. Stu says that Roman was the Thanos of WWE. His presence was always feared during the peak of the bloodline, right? Because he was unpredictable. He was definitely unpredictable. Let's go on to the next moment of the promo, of the in-ring segment between Punk and Roman Reigns, and let's break it down. Where's the button?
Many moons ago, once upon a time, I was champion for 434 days. With Paul Heyman by my side, does that sound familiar? Because you took it and you ran with it. You followed in my footsteps. And yeah, you were champ for what? 1,316 days, congratulations. But news for you, just because you did it longer doesn't mean you did it better.
CM Punk was champion for 434 days. Roman Reigns was champion for 1,316 days. If you are looking at the number alone, you would say, wow, CM Punk, Roman Reigns is the man in this conversation because he held the championship for 1,316 days. He held it for one Austin 316. If you know, you know.
Bing bang.
CM Punk held it for 434 days. What was CM Punk doing that Roman Reigns wasn't doing? Roman Reigns wasn't really defending that belt that much. Not going to lie. He's walking around with one belt. Roman Reigns walked around with the belt so long, going back to the moment where CM Punk says that he was holding the belt hostage. He was holding on to the belt for so long that they had to create another belt. And that's the belt that they're arguing about in the ring now. When CM Punk was the champion for 434 days, I'm going to say this right now, as disrespectful as this might be, as much as you might not like what I'm going to say, but I think that Roman Reigns' 1,316 days was much better than Roman's 1,316 days was much better than CM Punk's 434. Let me know what you think in the comments. Whether you're watching live or on demand, let me know what you think in the comments. And the reason why I think that is 100% because of this. When CM Punk was the champion, doing his 434-day reign, John Cena was still main eventing without the championship. So that 434 doesn't equate 13-16. Even when Roman Reigns wasn't defending the championship, he was still in the main event. So what Punk is trying to do in this whole entire thing is he's trying to claim intellectual lineage. He's trying to say, I built the blueprint. You just took it. Let's move on to the next one.
You're a box office, bona fide WrestleMania main eventer superstar. So you've earned the right to call your shot and show up here when you want. I appreciate that. I'm not mad at you. You choose to be a part-timer. And I choose to go to 10 countries in 3 weeks. I choose to go see all the fans nationwide, worldwide. I choose Poland. and Scotland and Denmark and Belgium and London and Toronto. And I choose to come back here to the hostile city of Philadelphia so I can say things like, doesn't it feel great to be alive on a Monday night in Philadelphia, or what?
So CM Punk is still controlling the crowd there, right? CM Punk is listing his travel list. He's framing his identity as a fighting champion, right? And this reframes. The reason why this is important is because this is reframing also the part-time versus full-time without even taking cheap shots there. Stu is saying, look at who Punk was fighting, though. He was fighting Brad Maddox and Ryback.
Yeah!
Roman fought Drew, Seth, Brock, except, you know what, bro? Right, you're right. Roman Reigns fought bigger people as champion than CM Punk did when he was champion. You're right. Zach says, I was really proud of Phil for knowing those numbers there. Let's go on to the next moment of that promo and see what happened there.
I choose to be a fighting champion, just like I chose to bring you into this company along with the rest of the Shield, and you chose to follow in my footsteps. And I'm here to tell you, Tribal Chief, you learn from the best. I'm proud of you.
So this is where the exaggeration comes in, right? Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose were already in the company. They just wrestled in FCW. You didn't know who they were. If CM Punk was going to bring anybody in, the only two people that I would say that he's going to that he probably did bring in, I'm not saying that he did or he did not, but we're talking about the conversation here between CM Punk and Roman Reigns. If anybody was brought in, I would say that it was Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, who's John Moxley. Why? Because those two were wrestling on the indies, right? Roman Reigns came in another way and trained and made his way up, right? So technically, Roman Reigns has not been wrestling as long as CM Punk, as long as Seth Rollins, or even as long as John Moxley. But CM Punk is trying to position himself as the bridge between two eras, right? And he's trying to make it look like, yo, I'm the dad, you the son. That's what he's pretty much trying to do. Stu says that only one I knew at the time was Dean Ambrose. I was hearing too much hype about Dean. Dean was that guy. He wrestled CM Punk in FCW. That match is floating around somewhere on the internet. Let's jump into the next moment. We're almost out of moments here.
You got a decision to make. There's two mountains to climb in front of you. And yeah, one is the easy way out because one is a guy that you think you can beat. And the other one's a guy that you know on your best day you can't touch because he's the best in the world. One door, if you so choose, to go after a title that makes Drew McIntyre the man, or... Man, you can climb Mount Everest with no Sherpa, and you can step through door number 2, and you can go after the man that has made this title and has held it down in your absence as the heavyweight champion of the world.
So what's happening now is that CM Punk is saying that he's the one that made the World Heavyweight Championship. I'm gonna give him the buzz for that. I'm going to give him the buzz for it. I don't believe that he made that championship. I believe if I'm going to say anybody made that championship, I can definitely say that I can say Seth Rollins. I can definitely say Gunther. And I can definitely say Roman Reigns. Golly. Jey Uso. Those are the three people I can say made that championship even mean something, because it's nice to yeet with the champion. But the reason why that matters is that it's just wrestling philosophy. And CM Punk, I think CM Punk is reaching like Stretch Armstrong over there. Stu says that to see where Mox is now is great. Yeah, I remember. He says Punk has made it now over the last month. Right, he's been champion for like, what, a month? Let's go to the next moment.
Let's get one thing straight. You're making all these towns because you took a 10-year vacation. I'd be trying to get it in as much as possible, too. And the second thing, I learned from you. The only thing I learned from you is what not to do. Let's get one thing straight here, Phil. You wouldn't be here without me. 2 years ago, or whatever that was, when they wanted to sign you back, who'd you think they came to? Who'd they ask if it was all good? Me. I made the promise to Paul, and I kept it. And I did the best I could.
Well then. I'm looking at that whole entire thing, and Roman is saying that it was his decision. You know, he learned exactly what not to do in the past 10 years, you know, from CM Punk. I'm going to tell you this. In the last 10 years, CM Punk did nothing that was spectacular. Granted, he went over to AEW, but it's like you felt like they just gave him the belt, right? And in case you guys all forget, CM Punk was in the UFC. CM Punk don't got that good of a UFC record. So if I was CM Punk, I'd be trying to get out of that situation right then and there. But what Roman Reigns was doing right there was that he was trying to take his power back, right? This is the control versus the truth, right? Roman Reigns having the control in that moment was pretty much saying the truth. You know, in the 10 years, you didn't really do nothing. And you wasn't really that relevant. Nobody was really asking for you. People stopped asking for you in the WWE. You went over to WCW. Golly, what's wrong with me today? You went over to AEW, and then the AEW made you relevant, but nobody here in the WWE cared about you. That's just the way that I see it. Let's go on to the last moment because we're short on time. Let's go on to, no, we still got some more moments? Hold on, let's go through this. Hold on.
I really did. But I will never forget 10 years ago or so when you go on your little best friend's podcast, running your mouth, making my life harder than it ever should have been. And then I let you back here, and what do? You screw me. You take my wise man, you try to brainwash my cousins, and you almost brainwash me. Nah. I shake your hand, I look at you like a man, and what do? You mock me in my back when we're walking up the ramp like I'm some little young boy. Well, guess what? I made my choice. I could pick you because you're the biggest star available. I could, yeah. I could pick you because you're on Netflix and you're on the best show. I could. But no, I'm picking you because I hate you. I've always hated you. And WrestleMania is going to be the best day of my life because in the main event, you will acknowledge me.
Roman Reigns in those last two videos that I played, Roman Reigns, he listed his dirty laundry of personal resentments against CM Punk. This was Roman Reigns' emotional confession. And the reason why I like this whole entire promo between CM Punk and Roman Reigns is that we got to see a side of Roman Reigns that we don't get to see. We got to see the emotional part. CM Punk made Roman Reigns lose control. When I'm asking you in the beginning, in the thumbnail, right? Who lost control? He lost control. Roman Reigns lost the control. Roman Reigns came out there thinking that he was in charge, but CM Punk was out there not only controlling the crowd, but he was controlling Roman Reigns as well too. He got Roman Reigns to even say that I hate you and forced Roman Reigns to make the choice. And now, instead of us just having babyface versus babyface, right, to where it's like, oh my God, we don't know who's going to win. This whole entire thing is personal. This match to them is personal. And now I'm going to present to you the question that I asked you in the beginning. Who actually won the confrontation? Who actually won the confrontation? If you already voted already, you can put it in the comments that you changed your vote. But I'm going to tell you who I think won the conversation. I'm going to open up my phone, and I'm going to go ahead and vote. I know we don't vote. I know we don't open up my phone. I'm going to go to my phone, and I'm going to vote. And I'm going to tell you who I voted for and why. I voted for CM Punk. The reason why I voted for CM Punk is that I know in my heart what CM Punk wanted was for him to be chosen by Roman Reigns. And remember, at the end of the day, the decision is ultimately up to Roman Reigns, the person that won the Royal Rumble, to make the decision. But what CM Punk did was that he forced his hand. Let's go over to the chat one last time. Zach says that Mox is on another level right now, somehow a face with the crowd while leading the number 1 or number 2 heel faction at the moment is wild. The unfamous Dr. Ice, I don't know. Hey, good to see you. Never seen your name before. Welcome to the Tristan Law Show and 830 Wrestling Network. He says that CM Punk won the moment in the storyline because he got what he wanted. Roman at WrestleMania. You see?
Yeah!
Maria says, not true, Tristan. WWE fans kept cheering CM Punk every time they were in Chicago. Right, but that's the only place. That's the only place. Universal says 2014 to 2020, Roman won 6 titles and a total of 300 days. 2-month average each title, beating Dean Ambrose, Sheamus, Owens, Rusev, The Miz, Samoa Joe, Cesaro, Jason Jordan, Elias, Baron Corbin, and Strowman. And he also ate dog food. Maria says that hate in wrestling is beautiful. Let me tell you, hate in storytelling is beautiful altogether, Maria. Thank you so much. Universal says, took him 6 years to finally do something, and it took Paul Heyman to get him over. Damn. Stu says, manipulation. If you know, you know. CM Punk was out there talking about manipulation. I agree. He was the master manipulator. So Universal says that he rolls his eyes and outclassed, and Chris says that CM Punk is his hero. I will say this. When Roman Reigns walked out on Monday Night Raw last Monday, he thought that he was the one choosing a direction. But by the end of that confrontation, he wasn't choosing a brand. He wasn't choosing a show. He wasn't choosing a schedule. He was choosing a reckoning. That's what WrestleMania season does. It doesn't reward comfort, because the comfortable reason would have been, let me go to Drew McIntyre, right? The real comfortable reason would have been go to CM Punk, because I know that CM Punk could get the brakes beat off of him by Roman Reigns, right? So this is what WrestleMania season does. It doesn't reward comfort, it exposes it. Roman didn't lose the debate, probably didn't lose the debate here, right? To some people, but I tell you what Roman did lose. He lost control of the narrative. And CM Punk didn't just interrupt him, he forced Roman Reigns to say the quiet part out loud. This isn't about who's better. This is about who the current era belongs to. And WrestleMania is where those questions get answered. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on the road to WrestleMania. Well, thanks so much for joining us, everybody, for another episode of the Tristan Law Show. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys again on Monday. Jess should be here. Make sure you watch the last episode of Main Event Conversations with Steve Off. That is available for you to watch right now. Watch that right now. Don't go anywhere. Don't turn off your computer or close your phone. I'm Tristan Law. This is the Tristan Law Show. Thank you guys so much for watching. Oh, wait. Hold on. Damn, I didn't even do the poll. I didn't even tell you guys who won. All right, right now, everybody thinks it's Roman Reigns. Yeah. Who won the confrontation? Everybody says it's Roman Reigns. Yeah, it's Roman Reigns. Yeah, Roman Reigns. I just like to play the music sometimes. Thank you so much for joining us to another episode of the Tristan Law Show. The question we were asking here is, who won the confrontation? CM Punk or Roman Reigns? Let us know in the chat. My name is Tristan Law. We'll be back next Monday. Monday coming. Just the after should be here. Email me, tristanlawshowmedia@gmail.com. Stu, I'm still waiting to hear from you. Call me, 973-826-0101. I'm Tristan Law. This is the 830 Wrestling Network, and I'll see you next time.
Flashing red lights, driving at night, window